What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. Today I was lucky enough to get my hands on an Elgato HD60 game capture device. These things are pretty hard to find. I think I found the last one in Connecticut at a Best Buy, and I'm pretty excited about this because what this is going to allow me to do is record 1080p footage from my PlayStation 4 and my Xbox One at 60 frames per second, which is going to make a big difference in the quality of the videos that I post to YouTube once YouTube actually enables that feature for everybody. So I'm actually really excited about this. I'm going to do a quick unboxing right now. I'm also going to show you some of the new features, kind of a brief overview of what's new, some of the new software features, show you the new software. And then in about a week or so, I will actually do a full review and give you my overall impressions on how big an upgrade this is over the older Game Capture HD, which I've been using for about 2 years now, and actually just kind of give you guys a full review on this unit, see if it's worth the purchase. So stay tuned for that, but today we're going to do an unboxing and kind of a first impression video. All right, guys, here you can see that we have the box for the Game Capture HD60. Let's break into it and see what's inside. Got a little bit of plastic wrap on here, and we'll get rid of that. All right, and just slides right out of this packaging. It comes in a nice little kind of book form. All right, here we see the HD60 itself. You can see it's a very small device. It's got a HDMI, that's the output for the HDMI. HDMI in. This looks like maybe a 3.5mm jack, maybe for headphones. I'm not sure how to use that yet. And a USB 2.0 port. I was surprised when they announced this that it had USB 2.0, not USB 3.0. But they say they're able to get 60 frames per second at 1080p video. So let's see what we got for cables here. Got a USB 2 cable. And this looks like it's probably an HDMI port. HDMI cable. Seems like a high quality cable. Got a little Elgato gaming sticker there. What else we got? And that's it. So not much in the box, really. Pretty simple. So as you can see, there's really not much inside the box. No directions or anything. You can go online to download the software. Nice little sticker. The HD60 is much smaller than the Game Capture HD. This is the Game Capture HD. It looks very similar when you stack them. You know, it's kind of about the same size, length and width-wise. But height-wise, it's a much smaller device. It's also kind of got a rubberized finish instead of the glossy piano black finish of the Game Capture HD. It's a nice looking device, but let's see how it performs. All right, guys, we are back, and here you can see the new version of the Game Capture HD software. You can see down here it's 2.0, and this came out basically very recently with the release of the HD60. You can use this software with the older Game Capture HD. Elgato's actually not getting rid of the Game Capture HD because as of now, it's your only option for recording analog. The HD60 will only record digital inputs through that HDMI port. So if you want to record PlayStation 3 or old NES, analog, anything analog, you still have to use the older Game Capture HD, but you can use this new software with it, which is great. So there's a bunch of new stuff in here. If you're familiar with the Elgato software, you're going to see that it looks very familiar to you. They've changed the location of a few things. There's a few new options. So let's go through it real quick. Up here we have two tabs, Capture and Edit. We're going to start in the Capture tab and click on our settings here. Now here's a really new feature, and this is a great new feature. Right here is record live commentary in a separate audio track. So if you're recording a live commentary, like it says, it actually records a second track. So that if you mess up the levels while you're recording, say your game audio is too loud and you can't hear your commentary, you can actually change that when you're editing. Just boost your commentary audio and lower your game audio when you combine those in your editing software. This is an awesome feature. I'm really glad they put this in. This is really going to save me a lot of heartache. You know, it's kind of a hard thing to do. You got to trust that you got it right and then record for 2 hours, and then afterward you see, oh man, so you're messing with loudness and you're trying to fix it post. This is a great feature. I'm really glad to see this. Enable flashback recording. This basically is making a buffer of your previously it's making a buffer of whatever's getting shown on the screen. That way you can go back and record something awesome that just happened. And that's pretty much all that you'll be using here. There's a foot switch toggle, but I don't have a foot switch. You can use 1080p for iPad and Apple TV exports. That's great. And automatically check for updates. You know, to be honest with you, I generally leave that unclicked because I like to do that manually. Once I have working software, I like to make sure that the next version is going to work with my system before I install it. So I'll leave that unclicked for now. All right, over here you can see that I have my Elgato Game Capture HD60 connected. You can see a little picture of it. That's kind of nice. And there's some more settings in here. So this is actually pretty important stuff. If you want to record in 60 frames per second, this is the area to allow that. You just click on that guy and you are recording 1080p, 60 frames per second. If you don't want to record 1080p though, obviously there's other selections in there. You can also record, you can change the quality of your recording. I'll leave that at best because I want my videos to look as good as possible. And you can change your input device, which is a nice little feature there. There's also picture and audio options here, and I really recommend that you play with these, get these right. If you go into the profile section, you can actually set these up for individual games. So if you play a lot of one game like I do, I play an awful lot of Ghosts, I like to record this at the best possible setting so that when I export this video into my editing software, I don't have to boost the saturation or the brightness or the contrast. It's all done for me when it's recorded. It really lowers my rendering time. So this is important stuff. These settings are still for the Game Capture HD. I have not set up the new settings for the HD60 yet, so I'll be playing with that over the next, well, I'm sure I'll be playing with that forever. So that's basically what you got to be concerned about in here. It's really simple stuff. If you do have an issue with TV compatibility, you can change this, but really not a whole lot in there. I do really recommend changing these picture and audio settings though for your, so you don't have to do it later. You don't have to render it every time differently than how you recorded it. Over here, this looks very similar to the old software. You can actually change the volume of the game sound while you're recording it. This is a very handy feature. If you do a lot of commentaries with voiceovers, then you probably just want to keep this pretty low so that you can still hear a little bit in the background, but it doesn't, you know, drown out your voice. If your primary concern is just showing awesome gameplay and you don't do voice over it, then you want to leave it up so that people can hear what's going on in the game. Down here, this looks pretty new. It's pretty cool. Instead of having kind of dial, well, basically what it's got is a new dial. So you can select what you want to upload at in megabits per second. And you want to set this so that your upload, your internet connection can comfortably, you know, handle whatever you select here. If you get too close to your bandwidth limit, you'll find that your viewers will start complaining that your frames are dropping and that the videos pausing while it's actually being uploaded. So you really need to keep this within the limits of your network connection, but you want to get it as high as possible to keep the quality high. And then it's got some settings here. I'm not going to show you that because it's mostly account stuff. You don't need to worry about that. There is another button here for live commentaries. You can select your microphone if you have a few microphones. I generally use my Yeti stereo microphone. And you can select the recording volume for your live commentary as well. Again, since this can now record your live commentary in a second track, that's amazing. I can't wait to start using that feature. That's really, it's going to, for me, that was a lot of headaches, right? It's going to be a lot of headaches that just disappear because of this new software. I'm really happy about it. It's also got this nice little button here to reduce the game sound when you speak. Obviously, that does exactly what it says. It just lowers the game sound when you're speaking so that your viewers can hear you better. Over here, you have a few options for this. You can actually change the threshold at which, so this is the volume of which your voice has to get to before it lowers the game sound. And then attenuation is how much it will lower the game sound when you start talking. So that's pretty simple stuff. Not very difficult to use, but very useful. Down here, you just have what you name your title, the game you're playing, kind of the tags and description. You can actually upload directly to YouTube from this software. You don't have to use any other editing software if you don't want. You can do a live commentary over your track, put in the descriptions, the tags, upload, and you're good to go. That's really nice. So next we'll get to the bottom of the screen, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen, my PlayStation fell asleep there. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, all these recording controls used to be over here, but they moved them over here, which is nice because it gives you a lot more room up to here, so you're not constantly scrolling up and down through this stuff. But all this stuff is always available and always you can always see it. You don't have to go searching for it. So when you want to start recording, all you have to do is hit this red button here and boom, you are now recording. Very, very easy. A nice feature about the HD60 is when you hit this button, there's kind of a red flashing light that happens on the hardware itself to indicate that it started recording. It's a nice new feature of the HD60. I thought it was a cool little touch. Now, if you want to get back to your live gameplay, so whatever is actually displaying on the TV, if you want to see that live, you just click this live button and it goes right back to live. Now, let's say you missed something that you really want to record. You really want to show that to your viewers. Let me hit that live button again there. All you have to do is pull this little bar back, hit record, and it will record all of that stuff that you just did. So if I've been playing for an hour and the last 6 minutes are awesome gameplay that I want to share with my subscribers, I just pull that back for 6 minutes, hit the record button, and you're good to go. It's very, very simple. It's very useful. So you don't have to be recording all the time as long as your software is running and your HD60 is on. You can always just pull this bar back, hit record, and record any footage that you may have missed. It's very, very useful. This new button here is to take screenshots of whatever's going on the screen. And it just takes a screenshot. And you can mute your audio, which is really nice too. Over here, we have the Twitch logo. If you actually click that Twitch logo, it'll bring up the Twitch page, which is kind of a nice little feature. It's a hyperlink right there. Also, if you want to start streaming, all you have to do is hit this green button, and boom, it just starts screaming. And if you want it starts streaming. And if you want to do a live commentary, all you have to do is hit this blue button, and it starts allowing you to record. While you're recording too, it'll also show your levels here, so you can adjust your levels. If you find that you're constantly in the red, you're going to be clipping your audio, and you want to lower it. But if it's always just down here, you're going to want to raise it up a little bit so your viewers can hear you. But that's really easy to do. All you have to do is just click that button and you're good to go. And you can hear me talking there. So that's it for the recording portion. Next we'll go into the editing portion. And you'll see all these little snippets I made while I was showing you guys that. But this is really nice. Basically all you have here are, let's grab an actual gameplay here. This is something I recorded while I was just setting it up to try it out. And I've always kind of liked this software. It's very easy to use. You can see my levels are a little bit messy because I haven't set it up for the new hardware yet. So my contrast and color saturation aren't exactly where I'd want them to be. But you can see the video is crisp. It's clear. It looks great. If I play it, it's going to be choppy because I'm recording at the same time, and that's a little bit much for my computer to handle. But it is recorded at 60 frames per second over a USB 2 connection, and that's awesome. So now that we have our video, you can use these editing controls to, over here we have cut. I think this is clipboard, and you can zoom in and zoom out to actually make it a little easier to edit. And once you've done that, you can upload directly to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can email it to somebody. You can make an Apple TV compatible video, iPad, iPhone. This is just for ProRes users. If you use Final Cut Pro, you can use ProRes to export your video to Final Cut Pro. Or you can just save it as an iMovie or save it as a movie and then use anything you want to do it. I actually found... I was surprised about this, and this is new, and it may not be confirmed when I do the review, but the first video I exported out of this software went a lot faster than what I'm used to. So I'm wondering if maybe there's some new special juju going on, because I would expect it to be slower because I recorded this at 60 frames per second, and I'm used to recording at 30 frames per second. So... that's going to do it, guys. I mean, this is an unboxing and just a first look at the Elgato HD60. We got a lot we're going to be using this for a long time. I expect to do a full review of this product to compare it not only to the Game Capture HD, but to just let you know what my overall impressions of this product are. So far, you know, I've been using it for a few hours here, and I'm pretty happy with it. It seems very similar to the Game Capture HD. Some of the new software features are really nice. So, so far I'm pretty happy, but I'll be doing a full review shortly, probably in a week or so. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.